Product promotion. As the main equipment for flour processing, knead dough machine turns the wheat flour and water into doughs according to a certain ratio. It is widely used in the canteen, restaurant, and flour processing unit with features of reducing labor intensity by replacing manual operations and satisfying people's dietetic hygiene requirements. And this ideal equipment can also be used in stirring and blending similar materials. According to stirring methods, at the moment 3 types of knead dough machines are produced in YinYIng. J-pattern paddle type knead dough machine is used for producing crisp and tenacious doughs and custard dough when the flours are stirred in mixed way, such as HWJ25 type knead dough machine. Y-pattern blade type dough maker is a type of co-extrusion oriented equipment, and during the process of dough kneading, both sides of flours in flour box are extruded and mixed towards the middle so the dough can be manufactured quickly and gluten is formed well.
The common machine types are HWY30 type, HWY54 type, HWY75-3 type, HWY103 type, and HWY152 type. T-pattern ellipse type dough maker is used for producing tenacious doughs and focusing on extruding when the flours are stirred with HWT 12.51 type, HWT 21 type, HWT 25-3 type, HWT 53 type, and HWT 75-1 type as the common machine types.
Inspection preparation. The knead dough machine shall be placed on the dry and horizontal ground before use in order to ensure that it is placed steadily and reliably. Carefully examine whether the fasteners on the machine are loosened or not, and whether the bucket of the knead dough machine has foreign matters or not. An adjustment and cleaning shall be made in time. Find a professional electrician to examine whether the supply voltage matches with the nominal voltage of the machine or not, and elongate the power line to connect the interrupted machine with a knead dough machine power. J-pattern must be placed near to the ground wire reliably or the external ground connection identification of the enclosure. Examine whether the turning direction of the stirrer is the same as the marked arrow direction. If it does not, cut the power and adjust the power supply wiring for trial idling operation. There shall be no abnormal sound and vibration, or else examination and adjustment should be conducted. When the switch handle is turned on the position of clockwise, T-pattern ellipse type knead dough machine is power on. The turning direction of stirrer shall conform to the marked direction of the arrow. The oil amount of Y-pattern blade type dough maker must be examined, and the oil amount shall be reached 1/3 of the oil window. If it is not, oil shall be added. Several drops of lubricating oil shall be added to the oil filter each time. Operation and maintenance. J-pattern paddle type dough maker, we shall examine whether there are sun-dries and dirt in the flour bucket before use, and clean the bucket if necessary. Wait the flour to be kneaded and water at the ratio from 1 to 0.38 to 0.45, and open the flour bucket cover. Then pour the flour into the flour bucket and press the start button. The stirrer begins to operate on trial. After trial operation, pour the water into the flour bucket of the knead dough machine, and the machine begins to work normally. When the dough is done, press the stop button, and then the machine stops to work. Loosen the backing pin of the flour bucket and overturn the flour bucket forward with hands. After it is in place, make the left backing pin of the flour bucket locked in the stop dog of the tipping bucket. Press the inching reversal button and take out the dough step by step. Loosen the left packing pin and reset the flour bucket with hands. Lock the backing pin at the flour bucket tightly, then we can make the dough with materials again. T-pattern ellipse type dough maker. Weigh the flour to be kneaded and water at the ratio from 1:0.38 to 0.45 and open the flour bucket cover. Then pour the flour into the flour bucket and turn the switch knob to the position of clockwise. The stirrer begins to operate on trial. After trial operation, pour the water into the flour bucket of the knead dough machine evenly and the machine begins to work normally. The dough can be done in 6 to 10 minutes continuous operation. Then turn the switch knob on the position of stop and the machine stops. Pull the handle of tipping bucket to turn the bucket over and reset the handle when the stop dog is under stress and the flour bucket is fixed. Pull the clockwise or anti-clockwise switch. The dough will be thrown away immediately. If there is dough remaining in the bucket, cut the dough off with knife after the machine stops. Then pull the clockwise or anti-clockwise switch again and the dough will be thrown away immediately. The machine shall be cleaned carefully after use to ensure dietetic hygiene. Wipe off the remaining material of the flour bucket with clean and dry duster cloth. Do not scrape the stirrer surface and the flour bucket wall with sharp instrument or wash them directly with water pipes. Examine the tightness and wear conditions of the original V-belt and make adjustment and replacement in time. HWY30 type and HWY54 type. Switch on the power and then the power supply indicator is on. If the trial operation is normal, weigh the flour to be kneaded and water at the ratio from 1:0.38 to 0.45 and open the flour bucket cover. Then pour the flour into the flour bucket and press the start button. The stirrer begins to operate on trial. After trial operation, pour the water into the flour bucket of the knead dough machine and the machine begins to work normally. Usually operating for 5 to 7 minutes continuously. The user can control the time as required. When the dough is done, press the stop button and push the paddle tipping bucket board. Pull the flour bucket forward and loosen the food board when it is in place. Press the YinYIng reversal button, takes the dough out and hit the food board and reset the flour bucket with hands. Lock the flour bucket baffle with set piece. Then one working style is done. When the machine stops, cut the power supply off. Y-type HWY75-3 type, HWY103 type, and HWY152 type. Close the breaker and the power supply indicator is on. If the turning direction confirms to the arrow direction, the clockwise direction is normal direction. If the turning direction is opposite, the tipping bucket and resetting won't work. If the trial operation is normal, weigh the flour to be kneaded and water at the ratio from 1:0.38 to 0.45 and open the flour bucket cover. Then pour the flour into the flour bucket and press the start button. The stirrer begins to operate on trial. After trial operation, pour the water into the flour bucket of the knead dough machine evenly. When the dough is done, according to the requirement of the user, press the stop button, then turn the flour bucket forward button. And when the button is in place, the machine stops automatically. Take the well-kneaded dough out and press the YinYIng reversal button to assist in taking the dough out. After the dough is taken out, clean the machine carefully to ensure dietetic hygiene. Wipe off the remaining material, the floor of the flour bucket with clean and dry duster cloth. Do not scrape the stirrer surface and flour bucket wall with sharp instrument or wash them directly with water pipes for prevent water from inflowing and avoiding danger. Press the flour bucket resetting button and the flour bucket would automatically reserve to the working position. Then one working style is finished. When the machine stops, cut off the breaker and power in order to ensure safety. Lubricating oil should be added to the oil filter each time. All the maintenance work must be carried out after the power is cut. If the machine sounds abnormally, it must be stopped and checked immediately. It is able to continue working after troubleshooting.